11:07 p.m. and you just vibe coded a slick new landing page on Lovable. Now you just need a subscriber flow so a new user can sign up, pay, and hit a members only area. And this is where your problems start. You're dealing with bug battles, security concerns, and after 2 hours of back and forth, the modal's still 404s. Right now I'm going to show you how to create a member page with authentication and billing fully set up in just 15 minutes. Let's get started. By the way, the flow we're about to go through also powers SaaS dashboards, paid newsletters, course portals, digital downloads, and anywhere else users need an account and a paywall. So why are we choosing Auth? Auth isn't just an Auth embed, it's your all-in-one membership operating system that wipes out hidden fees and eliminates tool sprawl. So it actually replaces 5 SaaS bills with just one. Auth bundles all the features that you normally have to stitch together, from CRM to billing to email, help desk, to authentication. Auth has you covered. Auth also has an indie no BS ethos with transparent pricing that vibes with small but mighty builders. Result is fewer logins to manage and lighter monthly burn. It also lets you pick up your website and take it elsewhere later on. Here's what you'll need to get started. You'll need an Auth account, a Lovable project, and 15 minutes start to finish. You can use the free version of Lovable for this tutorial. Okay, let's get started. So to start, you're going to create an Auth account. This will take about 5 minutes. Sign up at auth.com, fill out the company info under settings, under billing and then settings, connect Stripe, then create at least one plan, free or paid. It will work if the first 4 steps in the setup guide are marked complete. Next, we're going to grab this header script. Go to Auth, then Embeds, and you'll hit this page. All you need for your website is this script and these 3 links. This step worked if you have the header script and 3 links copied for later. Next, we're going to generate a landing page in Lovable. If you don't have one already, no worries, I have a prompt below that you can use. For this example, I'm going to use my own newsletter, Idea Kitchen, where I share simple recipes for how to use AI. We're going to create a member landing page for the demo event recordings that I put on. So I've put in create a complete membership landing page for Cooking with AI live demo event recordings as part of the Idea Kitchen newsletter. Build a professional conversion-focused page that showcases the value of accessing recorded AI demonstrations. You want to make sure to include this part at the end where it says do not implement Auth database, email, or payment systems, and also make sure to include those placeholder links so that Lovable knows where to add the links later on. What this prompt does, it will generate a landing page that just works aesthetically. So it's going to give you something beautiful to start with, and then we're going to add the links so it actually becomes functional. This step worked if you're able to hover over the login and sign up buttons and see the Auth placeholder text. Next, this step is optional. So if the initial design didn't meet the aesthetic that you were going for, you can now add an additional prompt to guide it in the direction that you wanted to go in. So in this case, the aesthetic looks a little too modern for Idea Kitchen. We're more of a vintage cookbook kind of style. I'm just going to grab a prompt that says, what would it look like with a vintage cookbook style design? I'm thinking aged paper texture, typewriter font, and warm colors that evoke a handcrafted, nostalgic feel. After adding the design prompt, it updated it to this aesthetic, which is much more our vibe. This step worked if the design feels great for you. For step 5, we're going to insert the links that we copied over before and the header script as well. So we're going to add this prompt. Again, you can use the one copied below so that you don't have to copy this out manually. And it says, let's replace the placeholder comments and links. The placeholder comment in the header should be replaced with, and then copy in the script from Auth. Next, you're going to add the sign-up link and the login link and the profile link. This step will have worked if you click on the Join Now button and it shows your membership plan, or if you click the login button and it shows the login screen. Now, 2 things to keep in mind when you're going through this step. Sometimes the links aren't working in this initial screen in Lovable, but if you click this button right here to open the preview in a new tab and try it here, it may work for you. So check that out if you're running into any issues. My second tip is to add this prompt. So are there any Auth placeholders that haven't been replaced? If you add this text, it will go through and look through the entire website to make sure that there are no placeholder text that still exist. And in this case, they found several in the footer. So now I've asked it to replace all remaining Auth placeholders, and it's gone ahead and done so. So those are the 2 tips in case you run into any problems at this step. This step worked if you can click on the login and the join now and receive the new modals. For step 6, we're going to create a members only page in Lovable. So we're going to ask Lovable to create a page like this one to house the recipe collections, anything else you want only members to receive. So we'll add a prompt that says something like, the next step is to add a page with the protected content to be directed to once we log in. One thing to note here is that we are doing a very basic setup for this initial 15-minute tutorial. We'll guide you through this implementation in a future tutorial. So go ahead and say, I'd just like to add the page, so I have a link to direct to in Auth. It says, I understand, and then it went ahead and created this page. So I added that prompt and it created this page to link to once you're signed in. The next step is we're going to grab the link of it created. So in this case, it's the /cookbook, but it could be something like /members or anything else that you want to use. I'm going to grab this link and then I'm going to add it to Auth. Next, we're going to go into Auth and then protected content, and then we're going to add a content group. So in this case, I've titled it videos. I've added the website URL at the end that we're hiding from non-members. I'm just going to leave this blank for now for this tutorial, but it's something else you can add. And then I'm adding the plan member. So within the first step, we added a plan, and that's the one we're adding here right now. We're clicking save. And just keep in mind that it may take up to 10 minutes to propagate, which means that you might want to wait to test for 10 minutes. For me, honestly, it worked right away, but just something to keep in mind if you run into any issues. This step worked if you now have a content group listed under your protected content page. For our final step, we're going to redirect sign up and login to the member page. So how we do this is we go to Auth, and then we go to Auth and sign up and login. And there's a login settings right here, and we're going to add the post logging URL. So this is the link that we copied from our member protected page. We're going to add it right here and click save. Now let's test if this works. To test this, I'm going to open an incognito window and paste in the link. You can also test the payments by going to join now, select a plan. And if you want to check the payments to see whether this is actually going through, you can use a dummy card like this one, 424242, over and over and over again. Add an expiration date sometime in the future. So in this case, we'll say 12/26. Say sign up and pay. So in this case, you'd want to use your real email when you're testing, just so that this email goes to your real email. But it obviously won't charge anything because we were using a dummy card number. Then I'm going to log in. And ta-da, it took me to my designated member page. And you can already see how the application is set up. So you can see when new members are signed up and billing invoices are created. Everything is already within Auth. So you don't have to do anything more than just a couple basic prompts within Lovable. And you can have all the functionality of a fully fleshed out member site. Everything from CRM, email, help desk, billing, auth, reports, and design. Everything is right here. So there it is. In 15 minutes, we've created a fully functioning member-protected website. Now, this is the website it created for me. Now, I haven't made any edits in terms of content, so there's definitely text that I could change. There's definitely information like pricing and having one plan rather than two. Those are little details that can be easily edited. The actual plumbing that runs the site is what's fully functioning right now. So I can log in, I can join now, I can process payments, I can get members to gated content. Everything that matters is fully set up. And now it's just really about the minor tweaks in terms of copy. Pure vibes, real authentication, and zero endless bug slaying in the process. Now go ship the real things that matter.